I'm in the money. Show
Show
me
me
the
the
money.
money. We need a
It's
song. We need a
Tuesday, so
song.
you know it's today.
Megan
Oh,
Long. Thank you, Megan Long.
Megan Long, new member. What's going on? Yes, new members. Memberships on Rideshare Guide. 1, you can help support the channel. 2, you get custom emojis and badges and all that good stuff, so you can show your support to the channel.
Okay.
Not a segue into that, but hey, if it happens, it happens. So Megan, thanks for becoming a member and enjoying. And I want to put the membership on the resume. Nice. All right. Well, Sergio, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. I have recuperated from my cold. Almost 100%, I would say.
Good.
So today's a big day, buddy.
It is.
My
It is.
partner in crime. Honestly, this is our 50th episode, people. 50. 50.
50.
Now,
Holy crap. We've been doing this for the last 50 weeks.
50 weeks in a row.
We got a packed show for you. We'll get into that in a minute.
Yeah.
But in 2 weeks, it's 1 year. So episode 52 means 1 full year of doing Show Me the Money Club. So thank you for everybody who is joining, watching. It's great to see so many new faces, so many new people, everything that's going on, everybody coming in and, enjoying. It's definitely been a work in progress. You're going to see a little bit of new things coming when it comes to Show Me the Money Club, because we are going to update it, make it a little more better for you, and some things there. So we are excited. But yeah, congratulations on 50 there, Serge.
Hey man, thank you, partner. Look, we started this. I remember our first one. I was like tongue-tied. And it looked like, our improvement has been there, obviously, but it wouldn't have happened without the support of the viewers and the gig worker, man. Without the gig worker or a driver, there's no gig economy. CEOs, check it out. Our goal was what? To build a great community of drivers and give them valuable information, tips and tricks, how to make more money if they can. Every city is different, obviously, but everything we have done so far seems like it's clicking with the viewership, and really thankful. Thank you for your support, and we're going to keep going, and we're going to actually improve. There is always room for improvement, and again, many thanks. And this happened the last second. I couldn't send it to Chris, but I'm just going to say it anyway. So Harry Campbell, the founder of the Rideshare Guy, who allows us to do our song and dance here without really any intervention, honest to God, okay? Because we call it the way we see it, people are liking it, okay, fine. We're not doing it just because we're doing it. We're doing it to do some good. But he opened the purse strings, Chris. I tweeted the show, of course, like I do every week, saying that, come join us live. And he goes, oh, how about this? Congrats, guys. How about 5 $50 Amazon gift cards for you to give away? Well, we didn't have the time to squeeze that in there, but no fear. Our anniversary is coming up in 2 weeks. So in 2 weeks, we're going to give 5 $50 Amazon gift cards for the support and for all the love you guys have shown us. So thank you, Harry.
Thing. If you're not subscribed, make sure you are. Turn on the notifications so you won't miss. Plus, it's Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. You can't miss it. But we're going to have some great shows coming. Obviously, the 1 year coming up in a couple of weeks. 50th is today. So we got quite a bit going. Yeah, where do you want to go? What do you want to?
You just do your thing and do your announcements, and wherever you want to go, I'll just go with where you're.
All right, so we have a jam-packed show for you today. One of the things that we wanted to bring up, as always, is making sure you are safe, because safety is key when it comes to being in the car with a complete stranger. You don't know what's going on, so we're going to be talking about something there. We also have our first recipient of the Show Me the Extra Mile Sunshine Award. And the story is absolutely amazing of what this driver had done. And so we're going to be giving our recipient the announcement that they well deserve. And then, $100. And then for your next story, we are just going into April now. So get your stories in of going the extra mile, and you could possibly win $100 for our April person. So then we're going to be talking about something that is going to definitely help when it comes to your back and your butt, especially driving rideshare for the amount of hours that you may be in your car. So stay tuned for that. Stephanie, how do you pronounce your last name again?
Vigil.
So Sergio had a interview with her. He's going to be talking about that in just a few minutes, just to kind of give you guys prepped for that particular interview that's going to be coming out here on the Rideshare Guy. We're also then going to get into I believe it was Yahoo News reaction to Lyft's new CEO as the interview. It's about a 7.5-minute video that we're going to go through, react to, talk about. You can share your reactions as well to that. So we have a couple of points where we're going to pause within the video, give our reactions to that. Now, after that, we're going to be talking about the Lyft staff. Actually, the employees want the change in leadership. It's looking like that. So that's why the CEO and president are not here, and they're bringing in a new CEO. So could be with the employees. After that, Uber just came out with their salary report. So is this one of the reasons why Uber can't turn a profit? I mean, some of these are insane. $24 million. Please give me some of that. Show me that money. After that, we're going to be talking about Uber's stockholder election. So if you own stock in pretty much any company and they have their votes, they're going to tell you, whether it's through your provider or whatever email, letting you know that there is a vote coming and you can vote. One of the things that they have for their vote is actually against driver support and safety. So yeah, we're gonna have to break that one down. And then is DoorDash buying politicians? And then also we're gonna be talking about, ending the show with some funnies, some crazies, some robots, and going from there. So we got a jam-packed show coming for you. We're gonna have a lot of fun too.
Yeah, we got a lot. Let's get going. Somebody in the chat called me Uncle Sergio. I go, bro, come on. How old are you? Are you like 18? But I appreciate the respect, though. Thank you much. I appreciate it.
Side note. Yeah, my daughter's uncle is 6 years old, 1 year younger or 1 year older than her.
That's what's happening. That's what's happening. Okay, it could be a you know what, Chris? My biggest problem, even at this age, I mean, I'm not that old, but I'm obviously older than you. My brain writes checks my body cannot cash anymore. So I get hurt all the time. Like the other day, I was like boxing in the garage with my son. I got pummeled, bro. And then for the next 2 days, I was sore as heck. I was like, man, I'm just got to stop writing these checks my body cannot cash, man. I was like,
you got to start working out, getting into it again.
Yeah.
Speaking of, a little bit, get back into it. WWE, completely off topic. Not even knowing why I'm talking about this, but I did watch WrestleMania on Saturday. They had
in my backyard. It was in my backyard,
right in your backyard. I texted you. I'm like, oh, you're going out driving? You're like, nope.
No, Serge was crazy though. I'm telling you, like, forget the pickup at the SoFi Stadium. Serge was crazy or in the surrounding areas, like 1825s on Uber, 1825s to 30s on Lyft. I go, hopefully you guys listened. I always say, do not pick up at the event. Always on the outskirts. Get in, get out. Get in, get out. That's what you guys should have done if you're in LA. Mr. Gambit, there you go.
But, it's kind of funny because you're seeing Dana White buying the WWE for $9 billion. And now the UFC and WWE are under an umbrella of the UFC parent. So it's going to be interesting to see how that all shakes out coming up. So I'll be interested. I don't really watch wrestling. Like, I'll hang out with some friends, and that's what we did for Saturday night. We got together, hung out and all that. But it was at SoFi Stadium, which It was, right there when it came down to it.
Sold out, maybe sold out. It was big.
Yeah, there was,
I mean,
I don't know,
I was like,
84,000 or 82,000 people or something ridiculous
it's a
there.
beautiful stadium, though. You know what? It may be the most beautiful stadium in the U.S., to be honest with you. It's designed for California. It's outdoors, indoors. It's amazing. It's an amazing place. So if you get a chance, anybody, go down there and catch an event or a concert. We'll see. But anyway, so let's get going. So there was, one guy says, Sergio does not do twat. Hey, man, this weekend, Uber showed me the money. I took their money. I took the money. They lost $120. I drove, listen, Mr. Gambit, I drove for 4 hours, online for 4 hours, active hours, 3 hours and 50 minutes. So 10 minutes literally in between. My ass on the car seat, 4 hours, $262 later. That's like $70 an hour, baby. Boom, boom, right? You show me the money, I'm yours. So there you go. So I do drive. I'm not stupid to say no to free money.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And when they're showing the money, that's where we're at. So that's the exact same thing. Uber and Lyft were showing me the money, and I'm definitely taking it up. So
the group A that we did. I'm in the group A. I need consistent reinforcement. Consistently reinforce me. I will be yours, baby.
My time goes to the highest bidder.
If there you go. That shirt's coming up. That shirt's coming up. That shirt's coming up. There you go. Anyway, so let's do it.
All right. Well, first off, let's, one of the things that we want to talk about and remind everybody when it comes to safety and driving, you don't know who's getting in your car. You don't know what's going on. We always preach about getting a dash cam. If you don't have a dash cam yet, you really do need one. We do have a special promotion going on with DisplayRide. One of the most amazing things about DisplayRide is it's backed up to the cloud right away. So in the event, something happens, God forbid, and somebody tries reaching for that camera, grabbing it, and then tossing it or something like that, too bad, so sad. It's already up in the cloud, so you're able to get it. You can provide it to police. You can provide it to Uber or Lyft. It's very good in that aspect. So it is great to have, and they are doing a special for all of you who are watching with the rideshare guy, where if you use code RSG, you're going to get 20% off. Normally it's $25 a month, and this is for your dash camera. This is for your cloud backup. This is for the server. This is for the entire service. So it's going to all that, and it will be $20 a month using code RSG instead of $25. So save a few bucks, and remember, this is a business expense, so make sure you save that, because down the road, you'll be able to put that on your taxes and use that as an expense on top of it. So great camera. As you can see, this is some of the perks and stuff on it. It just automatically documents audio and video for every ride. You get the instant on-demand proof. It's going to deter bad behavior or incidences, especially if they're going to see a dash camera in there. And this is another thing. Now, dash cameras are coming out with this cloud like DisplayRide. So those people who are going to think, oh, I'll just throw it out, they're not going to be happy when they figure that out. So that's nice. It also is going to protect against false complaints and deactivations, and then also accident alert and notifications. Now, there's a lot more to it. If you want to sign up or learn more about this, head over, click the link in the description below. I think it's like the third link down or something like that. So you could check that out and be protected today. Save yourself, cover your ass, and use code RSG to get 20% off.
Another member, Norma. Well, we know he's not Norma, but we're going to keep calling him Norma. A couple of things about this. Megan says, I'm on a waiting list to get one from them. I spoke to the CEO. They just got 1,000 units, so you're going to get it. If it's after the April 15th, please email me. I will get in touch with Abdul, the CEO, and we'll honor the 20% off. So if you signed up with the RSG code, listen, man, all we don't wish anything bad happens to anybody, obviously, but all it has to do is happen once, and your life will change, right? $20 a month. You don't have an outlay up front, major outlay, like you go buy the camera for $400 or $500 or whatever. It's uploading to the cloud automatically. So, I couldn't recommend it any stronger than anything else we have recommended, because we usually don't recommend these things, but this is a must in today's society, where every week we have another one this week. Every show we're putting up a driver got killed, driver got carjacked, driver got this. Driver, seriously, $20 for your life. I mean, I think it's a no-brainer. Okay, so please go sign up. But
absolutely,
yep.
All right, moving on. We want to definitely give a special thanks to drivers who have gone above and beyond. We're, a lot of the times, a lot of people are very negative when it comes to Uber, Lyft, when it comes to the gig economy. Rightfully so at times, because sometimes it does feel like exploitation. Sometimes you just get those pain in the ass customers, or customers or riders that get in your car and just completely turn the other way when it comes to having a good day, and then at the end of it you're just completely drained, completely out of it, and probably should go home and take the rest of the day off just to recoup. But there are times when some passengers or people need it, and so we came up with the Show Me the Extra Mile Sunshine Award, brought to you by Show Me the Money Club, rideshare guy, and also the Sunshine Man himself, Jeff from South Carolina. And so we are doing our first ever recipient, and Jeff is
inaugural.
The inaugural. And Jeff is the person who got all the stories. Sergio basically got them from everybody who had sent one in, and then Jeff made the final decision when it came to who the person was that was our winner. And we want to say a special shout out to Nathaniel. So Nathaniel, if you're watching, then let us know. Say something in the chat, but we want to say congratulations to you. And if you want to read Jeff's little quote here to Nathaniel on that.
Certainly. So Nathaniel, my man, my brother on wheels, congrats. Well, I can't even put it to words. Beyond well-deserved. Okay. And obviously I'm going to do an article on this, and I'm going to have him on interview on a video for our channel. By the way, we're not ignoring any of the comments, people. Seriously, they're all flying. But if you have any questions, please email me, sergio@rideshareguy.com. If we don't answer it, we're not ignoring you. So Jeff, being the judge, jury, and executioner, our sunshine man, Jeff from South Carolina, sent this note to Nathaniel. I don't know if you're driving, Nathaniel, or not, but I'm sure you'll catch it. So I have been very fortunate in the last 4.5 years to have had a number of special moments driving rideshare, and this is one of them. It is with great pleasure, along with the rideshare guy, to give out the first Extra Mile Sunshine Award and $100 to a very deserving driver. This is a monthly thing, people. Start sending him in. Today is the 4th. I haven't gotten one yet. What you did for an 80-year-old veteran was an inspiration to me, and it will be for so many others who hear your story. I printed your story and placed a copy in my car, and when I have a difficult ride and need some sunshine, I'm going to read it again and let you brighten my day. The winner of $100 gift card, Nathaniel Hudson Harmon from Oregon. Nathaniel, you're my man. I literally had tears when I read this story. So we're gonna do you justice. We're gonna do this with every monthly winner. By the way, I'm gonna do an article on them for our blog newsletter that goes up to 100,000 people, 120,000 people. I don't know. And then I'm gonna do an interview video. Have the winner explain what they did, how they paid it forward. Negativity goes so far. This is an amazing human being right here. And he did this good deed, by the way, as you guys can tell, on St. Patrick's Day. And there is his $2 lucky bill. And here are some more screenshots. So Nathaniel got a call. He drives an EV, by the way. So he also had to deal with EV anxiety. He drives an EV, and he was doing some deliveries. He got this request. He goes and, and then he gets there, waits 10 minutes. A couple of nurses come out. He figured it's a convalescent home. And 10 minutes later, this gentleman on the picture on the right comes out with his walker, helps him in the car. Long story short, he does the trip, 106.5 miles, 2 hours and 49 minutes. And he got tipped and turned into $172.78. Pretty good hourly, but then he had to dead mile back. But none of that matters. None of that matters. This gentleman on the right had broken a hip. He was in a convalescent home to recuperate, but he wanted to go home. So the story, takes a turn. He puts him in the car. He helps him with all his bags. He's going home. They start talking. They open up to each other, and it becomes this amazing, amazing story for 2.5 hours. And Nathaniel couldn't be more gracious. He even took a break so the guy could have a smoke because he wanted to smoke. Respect to the veteran, respect to Nathaniel. Man, I was like, do humans like this exist? Because all we hear is about negative, negative, negative. And sure enough, it does. And, worthy winner. So $100 coming your way. We're going to put you on the channel, and we're also going to write the article on you. So congrats, Nathaniel from Oregon.
Yep. And, Sergio didn't really get into the story of what had happened, but make sure
I'm going to save that for the interview.
Yeah, I was just going to say, make sure you watch the interview, because they're going to go over that entire story. Truly, truly awesome work when it came to what Nathaniel was doing to help this person out, especially when it came to, having the broken hip, not being able to walk right, and all that stuff. So he definitely went above and beyond. But one thing I am going to share, because you did say with the EV part, he had, what was it? I think it was
200 miles, 203 miles
range to go.
Yeah.
So it wasn't, it was very close when it came to it, because it was going and then coming back. So luckily he did make it back with just a little bit left. So he said it was kind of meant to happen, that type of thing. So congratulations, Nathaniel, out there doing the awesome work that you did.
And you know what? I want to also plug our new. We put up 2 of them already, which I you know what? Those 2 episodes of Behind the Wheel series, right? I mean, they have outperformed my expectations by like 10x, I think, right about there. So Jeff's was the first one, 40,000 views or something crazy, and then Kyle's was the second one, 42,000 views. Like, look, in our universe, those are huge numbers. Okay, so there's going to be one every Thursday coming up, right? Chris knows. We're going to release it. It's called Behind the Wheel. And thank you again for that support too, because these are all successful drivers in their own cities, and obviously Nathaniel is going to be one of those, behind the wheel, or whatever we can squeeze it. Or maybe we could just create another one, Chris, called the Sunshine Paid Forward or Sunshine Man Award, whatever, because everything we do, is turning into gold. We touch it and it works. So hey,
Sergio. And our next Behind the Wheel this Thursday is somebody that we had on recently when it came to our town hall. And that was Roxy, the winter bird that Sergio calls her.
Roxy. She's here, by the way.
She travels and is all over doing many different markets when it came to driving for Uber and Lyft, I believe, as well too. So stay tuned for that, because very interesting story there when it came to her. So that's this Thursday when it is going to come out. Oh, we Zoom.
He's here.
Congrats.
What's up? We just talked about you. We Zoom. So yeah, okay. Anything else? We have more. We'll have more.
Oh man, you're like, yeah, you're out of. We still got more stuff. We got some crazy stuff going. All right. So one of the big things that we have just mentioned was we just gave Nathaniel $100 for going above and beyond. Well, he was sitting in the chair for a number of hours, as any Uber or Lyft driver is going to be sitting in the chair for several hours. And let me tell you, if you're not taking a little bit of a break to at least stand up and walk around your car, every hour or so, I know it can be busy. Well, if you're waiting for a passenger, get up, stand up for a minute, just stand right next to your car or something, just to get your feet and the blood flow going. But for those who are sitting around, your butts are hurting, your backs are hurting, maybe your car seat isn't feeling the best. We have something that is really nice, and this is the Elmara Car Seat cushion. And this thing, both Sergio and I had received one as a trial to test it out, see what we think about it. And let me tell you, for me personally, the seat is very nice. It's a great cushion, and it's got that memory foam in it, so it's real nice. And it's just one of those things that it helps when it comes to long sits, especially being a rideshare driver. So this right here, we have 3 seat cushions that we're going to give away. So if you're interested as well, you can check the link in the description below and check to see more about it. If you want to purchase your own, trust me, your back, your butt, it's definitely going to help you when you have something like this. But we are going to give 3 away. So basically, it's going to be one of those for the top rides given for Uber and Lyft for the week. Make sure you send that over to Sergio, and the top rides given in the week is going to be the winner. So if you do just Uber, if you do Uber and Lyft, or if you just do Lyft, doesn't matter. Whatever your ride counts are, we're looking for the most rides given in the week. And yeah, the top 3 are going to win this, and rightfully so, because these people, you're sitting in the car and you are continuously getting out there. So I'm sure your backs, your butts are hurting a little bit and could definitely benefit from something like this. Sergio,
Yeah.
what do you think?
No, I couldn't say anything more. I mean, we had it for 2 weeks. We tested it. We sat on it. It's memory foam, so it takes the shape of your butt and your back, number one. It really, really relieves a lot of the pressure on your joints, on your hips, and on your lower back. And I mean, hey, man, it's free. Is this like a $90 item? This is a top seller on Amazon. Okay. So please, I mean, I don't know who's going to win it, but I'm pretty sure we're going to have a bunch of candidates. If you're a full-time driver or drive more than 20, 30, well, even I don't care how many hours you drive. This is a must. Okay. You guys, please send me your ride count. All I need is ride count, either Uber, or Lyft, or combined. Whoever has the most ride count, top 3, gets it for free. You get it shipped from the manufacturer themselves, and you should have it within a week, and it will definitely help you. So that's it. Yeah,
We're going to announce the winners, obviously, on next week's show, but we just want to announce that we love these nice little product giveaways, especially when we're able to like give you firsthand, and when it comes to the experience. So that's nice, especially when, like I say, for driving, I'm seeing people who are 40, 50, 60, 70 hours in the car sitting there. And, if you're charging your car, then it might be sitting in there longer if you're just kind of sitting there doing work or something like that. So yeah, it's definitely something nice to have. And again, if you're interested in looking at more information on it, a link is going to be in the description below. Or if you want to pick one up there, if you don't feel like you're going to win the giveaway. But either way, send your screenshots over to Sergio, and you may win.
Yep.
All right. And then going on, we want to tease an interview that is coming up. So Sergio, take it away.
This is Stephanie Vigil, freshman House representative from Colorado. And previously, she was a DoorDash driver for 3 years. And the first order of business she took over was introduce a bill for transparency and gig worker rights in Colorado, such as, all the upfront fares not only displayed, but also to the passengers for rideshare or delivery customers. What Uber is charging them, obviously they know, but they never know what Uber is paying them or DoorDash is paying the driver until today. Well, no more. Transparency 100%. So now, because every time you guys don't get a tip, is because Uber ripped the passenger or Lyft ripped the passenger, and then they think you're swimming in cash because they got charged $50 for 10 miles, right? Not knowing that you only made $12 on that trip. So now the passenger is going to know how much you're making up front as well. And you will know how much the passenger paid up front. So that's part of the bill. Second important part of the bill, no more unjust deactivations. You will have your rights within 72 hours to appeal, but after that, you will have a right to go in front of tribunal. Basically, it's like a three probably retired judge arbitration panel, and put on your case. No more unjust deactivations. And she is the sponsor, one of the sponsors of the bill in Colorado. I had an interview with her on Sunday. It's going to run. Please stay tuned. I think she's doing great things, and this follows the trend of many other states, as we've spoken past few weeks, from Minnesota to Illinois to Vegas to Nevada. Obviously, we know Washington State has it, New York City has it. A lot of states are joining this battle for gig worker rights. There was by the way, huge announcement in Europe today, which we're going to talk about next week. So look, there's a trend here, and I personally speaking, if it's gig worker rights and transparency, I'm going to put everything I have behind these people. Okay. And when that interview comes up, there's going to be a link in the show notes. If you're in Colorado and watching us or listening to us, please go fill that out, because they may call you for a witness and this is going to pass within the next 120 days. So all drivers, please go support it, because I spoke to her. I read the bill. I support it personally. And there you go. So watch out for that interview as well.
Oh, yeah. So that'll be coming out in the next few days when it comes down to it. So stay tuned for that. Also, one last announcement when it comes to what's going on RSG. Tomorrow is the first episode of Money Hungry. So that is going to be with Kim and Zach, our other rideshare guy contributors, especially when it comes to food delivery and last mile delivery. So make sure you stay tuned for that. If you are doing food delivery or last mile delivery, you want to check out Money Hungry as well. That is going to be on Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. So it's going to be a little bit later than this show when it comes to it. But yeah, check that out. It is the first episode with Kim and Zach tomorrow, called Money Hungry.
Okay, Sergio at therideshareguy.com is my email address. Somebody asked, Sergio at therideshareguy.com. Okay. All right.
Yep. All right. So are you ready to talk about the Lyft CEO reaction when it came to the interview that he gave?
You bet.
All right.
I was going to be very brutal, but then, there's a chance we get him on the show. So I'm still not going to pull any punches. Look, there's a new sheriff in town. The two of them are out. Two founders are out. Okay. They made it look like, they were not pushed out, or there was like, they just wanted to hand the baton over to this guy. David Risher is his name, ex-Microsoft, ex-Amazon. Well, we got some news, which we're going to say after we listen to his interview and make some comments, that maybe it wasn't that simple. So I want to give this guy a chance. Seriously, like, any CEO, any new CEO should have probably a quarter under his belt to straighten the ship up. And from what I've seen, and I also tweeted, by the way, hey, by the way, Dara, are you watching? The guy was already in the car doing trips in San Francisco. He did like a few trips, or 4 or 5 trips. I don't think he had a $20 million security detail chasing his butt, right? Okay, so, and the guy tweeted it and put the pictures up, and I'm like, hey, great. Come to the driver's, side a little bit. Let's see what we go through on a daily basis when we're picking up. And it was at night, by the way, Chris. So all kudos to you, Mr. Risher. I already got a couple of emails from a couple of drivers who had problems with Lyft that they got solved. I'm like, all right, so let's give this guy a chance. 90 days. Let's see if he can do anything about it. We're still not going to pull any punches, obviously. He said some things that I disagree with.
See what happens. But yeah, he's been kind of making the rounds on interviews. And before we even get going, we just want to extend the open invitation, Mr. Risher, if you'd like to come on Show Me the Money Club, talk to drivers and kind of have a driver-centric conversation and kind of go that route and way. You always have an open invitation to come on the show. Hit up Sergio at therideshareguy.com, and we will get you scheduled on the show, and it'll be pretty interesting. So,
yeah.
All right. With that being said, let's go to the interview that was just done. What we're going to do is we're going to play some of the interview, and then we'll pause it, react to it, share your thoughts as well. We'd love to see what you got to say in the comments. And, if we're doing this and this is not even for the live stream, throw it in the comments and let us know your thoughts between all of this. So.
The battle for the rideshare market is as hot as ever, and Uber's big competitor has a new CEO leading the charge. We're joined by Lyft's incoming Chief Executive Officer, David Risher, and our very own Brian Sozzi as well. A pleasure to have you on the show, David. So, investors are really going to be looking to see where you're taking the company next. What are going to be your top priorities when you take the helm in April?
So great to see you, Rochelle. Great to see you, Brian. Listen, our top priority is getting a great experience to our customers. To a certain extent, it's a focus on the basics. Make sure we pick you up on time. Make sure when you open our app, we're priced in line with the other guys, and get you where you want to go. And you know what? Rideshare is a big deal. It's really improved people's lives in so many ways. And I'm kind of okay with your calling it. The battle is back, because we're ready to fight and hopefully do pretty well.
David, Brian here. Good to see you here, and congrats on this appointment here. Now, you've been on this Lyft board, so you are.
All right. So,
Yep.
What do you think about that first response there? When it came to
you know what? He looks like he's ready to compete, right? The first thing he says, we're going to take care of our customers. Great. Okay, of course. I think they tried this with the old regime. I'm being brutally honest here. Okay. Yep, exactly. Miles BNB. You took the words out of my mouth. Look, Uber has a lot of levers to pull to compete. Uber is not afraid of this comment here. Okay. If they're going to cut prices, I'm being brutally honest here to all the drivers who are watching and listening later. That's called lower base rates. It's called less incentives. And to me, him mentioning the customer first, of course he has to, because that's the golden goose that lays the golden egg. But I'm not sure he can win that battle, to be honest with you, competing with Uber, because Uber has so many pans on so many different fires, like they did the last 2 quarters. They got into a little bit of a battle over there, and in top 20 cities, Lyft was higher priced than Uber pretty much on every city. Okay, so I get it, I understand it. I'm not going to say much about it. Time will tell. But yeah, it looks like price war, is back on, and nobody, the only winner in a price war to me is the passenger. I don't think that anybody wins, including the companies themselves. So.
Yeah, so we got quite a few good comments already saying price war, and then cut the prices, but never accepted those reduced pay rides. So there's quite a few there. What people are saying, at least on the first part. So let's move on to the next section.
Familiar with the company, what has gotten Lyft to this point, and what do you need to course correct?
I think the thing is, we got to focus. We have to really focus on rideshare and our customers and our drivers. In a way, it's very simple. The more passengers and riders you have, the more drivers want to drive. The more drivers want to drive, the faster your pickup time. So as long as we're doing a really good job on those basics, that's going to get, us part of the way there. And then, of course, there are questions that I know you're going to want to ask about where we're going to go in the future. I probably won't be able to say too much about that just yet, but we've got a lot of big plans already brewing.
And I know you said.
All right. Okay. So there's the next response.
Yeah. Look, I've already read what some of the plans are. If I may break that. They're looking to get rid of shared rides, okay? And I think it'll be welcomed for every goddamn driver that's out there. And they're looking to enhance on their wait and save mode, because they said it kind of overlaps. Why do we need both? I agree. Look, this is this old comment that all rideshare started with. They will they cut the fares, and every time Uber cut the fares, Lyft matched it. But besides that, what Uber used to say is that the busier you are, the more you will make. Well, then that's not necessarily so, because at a lower fare, I have to drive more hours to make the same amount of money I was making the month before. So, I do get it. I do get his point, right? To me, nothing is, look, this is a simple business, Mr. Risher. From me to you, it's pick up at point A, drop off at point B, and to the next one. The only lever you can pull at the moment is going to be just on the pricing side of your algorithms, and how much you're willing to take a punch at Uber. And I'm hoping the driver doesn't get hurt. But when these two companies, get in a race to zero, driver does get hurt quite often. So I get it. I get his point. You know, he's like back to basics kind of a thing, but I never thought they got out of the basics, Chris. They never got into delivery. They never got into shopping. They never got into anything. So I'm not sure what the other two guys were doing wrong when it came to basics. So we'll see. You know, time will tell. Again, I was going to say more about, you know, this interview, but with the hope that we get him on the show, number one. Number two, you know, everybody needs a chance, right? Let's give the guy a quarter. Let's see what he can do, and hopefully he will do good things.
Yeah. Well, I think the biggest thing, and, you know, Lyft, if you're watching, or even David, if you're watching, one of the things that I would recommend as the show of the title, or I'm sorry, as the title of the show, Show Me the Money. That means you want us on the platform, you got to show the money. So, you know, maybe you go on a bidding war to try to offer that olive branch to drivers to be on your platform over Uber. Because I'm going to say, for me, my time goes to the highest bidder. And Sergio, your time goes to the highest bidder. People in the chat, if you want to say whether that's true or not, does your time go to the highest bidder? Let us know. But either way, yes, show me the money, and I'll drive for you.
Yep, which they did this week. They showed me the money. They gave me 16 trips. They gave me 16 trips for 260 guarantee. I'm going to do it. I'm going to knock it out tonight, and tomorrow morning I'll be done with it. And, you know, do all my shorties with the Lyft's wonderful, amazing. Please don't take that away, Mr. Risher. Okay, please. Okay, the area filter. I mean, come on, bro. That's like the most brilliant thing you guys have ever done. Okay, please. Yep. So I'll mess around and take their money, and, you know, and then thanks for the weekend one. I'm sure there's going to be one on the weekend as well, so I'll take the money there. Look, you know, this guy's saying we pick up fast, passenger pay attention. You know, the first two questions, driver has not been mentioned yet. So let's see what the next one brings.
No, well, he did say driver when it came to, you know, if there's more customers, then more drivers are happy, because that means that they're able to get rides, which in turn lowers the wait time. Obviously, it is customer centric on those two, but he did mention the driver being, the more drivers you have, the shorter the pickup times. So again, customer centric though.
You know, now is going to be that time for that battle. We know you don't want to really compete with Uber and its existing services. So what would the plan be if you're not going to compete in those same spaces?
Well, I mean, look at what Uber's doing. So Uber has decided, I think their business model depends on being able to deliver, you know, pizzas and, you know, tuna sandwiches and packages and all kinds of other things. The problem that I see with that is, as a rider, I'm just not that excited about getting in the car with the tuna sandwich. And as a driver, the idea of double parking, you know, outside the restaurant and getting a ticket, and then it's just a different thing, and not getting paid as much, by the way, as you do for rideshare. So I think to a certain extent, you know, this is still a very young market. You know, we're still talking about fractions of people, and by the way, fractions of activity because of COVID. And I think over time, as more people get out, as more people come back together, there's a lot of room for both of us. And I think if we stay focused on rideshare, we're going to do really well.
David.
All right. So
I don't know what to say to that.
Only.
I don't know what to say to that. I mean, seriously. Okay, look, he said, you know, one thing that is abundantly clear over the last 2 quarters, they're losing market share to Uber, is because of pricing, for nothing else. And is also because something called network effect, right? Or power of the platform that Dara sells every quarterly earnings call. Look, as an Uber driver, Lyft driver, DoorDash, all these people, okay? And I have tons of apps on my phone, okay? But that's what we suggest anyway. That's not the point. The point is, when he says, I don't want to put a passenger in the car with a pizza or a tuna fish sandwich, sir, that's not factual, okay? I'm not going to have pizza in my backseat and accept a rideshare trip and do it because the app won't let me anyway. So maybe a little bit more caution there. The reason Uber is where it's at, and you guys where you're at, as far as the stock price is concerned, because Uber pivoted correctly and got into food delivery and delivery of everything and anything, you know, during the pandemic, which they had the money to do. You guys probably didn't have the money to do, and you didn't get in there. But the analogy, I think, to me is kind of silly, that passengers don't want to get in a car with a pizza or a tuna sandwich. I mean, come on now, right? You know, I think I'm just going to let it a little slide here, because I think what you're saying is that, like, as an Uber driver and Uber Eats delivery person, I can basically do 3 hours of rideshare in the morning, do lunch rush on Uber Eats or DoorDash, get back on rideshare in the afternoon rush hour, and then do dinner rush on the weekends or during the week for Uber Eats and DoorDash again. Did you just see that I did not mention Lyft one time? Because that's the power of the platform, sir. I don't have to have Lyft, honestly, because you have a worthy competitor. Now, if you're going to pay me more than Uber, I will certainly pay attention to it, okay? But I think the point, Chris, that he makes is that rideshare passengers don't want to be in a car with the tuna sandwich is kind of silly. So,
well, I mean, if they were going to do, I mean, is this him saying that Uber is going to start doing shared rides between a passenger and a food delivery?
No, they're not going to do that.
No, I know it's not. But here's the thing: the other side of the coin is how many drivers are multi-apping, which means, yeah, they are going from food delivery to rideshare. You know, that just kind of seems like you're out of touch there, because you can go on any platform. So if you want to do Lyft and DoorDash, if you want to do Uber Eats, Lyft, DoorDash, and Uber, you can. There's nothing stopping you there. So maybe a lot of drivers are already in the food delivery space and not doing just rideshare alone. So that's something that you kind of got to figure. But the other thing is, do you see Lyft or any rideshare company, for that matter, actually being profitable at a one-trick pony? Or do you have to continue to look at new avenues to bring in more income? What do you think?
I mean, I definitely think you need more avenues, but I don't think they have the funding to get into the game now. I think they're late to the delivery game, which Uber correctly did. Look, the problem with all of this is when you're a one-trick pony, you have to do that really, really well, and you have a gigantic competitor against you, right? And whatever you do, Uber will be able to match or, go lower than you, because they have so many levers to pull. They can play with the take rates all they want. They can, until they put the dagger in your heart, they can do it. So what I think, yeah, that's a good point, Tony. What I think this guy has to do, okay, is think of some other vertical that could be immediately positive to the bottom line. And there isn't much that they can do other than maybe, a deal with Amazon, maybe packages, if not pizzas or tuna sandwiches, maybe packages. I don't know. But by just doing rideshare only and continuing with the same message as the other two exiting founders did, I don't know if it's going to work. But again, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm sure they have things in plan. Otherwise, this change wouldn't have happened. And, we'll see. Time will tell. But I think being a one-trick pony is not going to work out.
Yeah. And then the other thing, do you see any expansion happening from this? Or
that's one thing that I think they could do, because it's, expand, obviously, because they're in Canada and the US only, and Uber is global. So, again, though, global competition. Look, Uber tried to compete in Russia, they got kicked out. Uber tried to compete in China, they got kicked out. Uber tried to compete in India, and the biggest, most populated markets in the world. They have competitors there, local competitors. It is not an easy game to play globally, and they need cash. They need a lot of money, and they're not in a cash-rich position at the moment. So I'm not sure. I think one thing I have to give Mr. Risher is this: there is a lot to fix at Lyft. Okay, and put your house in order first, and then maybe go for expansion, because I think they missed the boat on that, Chris. They missed the boat on deliveries. They missed the boat on.
Now, the last question: if really, the only way to fix that ship right now is probably having layoffs coming, because you got to tighten the purse strings. That means you don't pay $200,000 for balloons like Uber did. You don't go out and get a pizza party every single day week like Uber did. You don't have 36,000 employees like Uber does, which we're going to be talking about all that stuff in a little bit when it comes to salaries and all that. So,
there is a question. There is a question they asked him. I think it's fourth or fifth question about that. If there are more cuts coming, and he kind of hinted. Then we'll see. The answer, and then we'll just follow up with that.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing I think that would, especially if you're going to try to go into a price war. You got to kind of trim the fat around. and try to operate as lean and efficient as you can in order to hit the next level, to say, and then hopefully that will not hurt drivers' pockets.
Yeah. And one last thing on this question that he answered was that, pandemic is over, markets are just opening. No, sir, that's not true. You actually, Uber, other than the West Coast, has equaled or surpassed every metric when it comes to pre-pandemic levels. The West Coast is dragging, and guess what? Lyft's largest market is the West Coast. Okay, so California, obviously. So you're losing market share. Why? Why are you losing market share? It's because, look, it's price agnostic. I mean, passengers are not stupid. They're going to price trips on both apps. There's no loyalty in this game, honestly. And they're going to go with whoever picks them up fastest, and whoever gets them there cheapest. So obviously,
On the flip side, though, Uber also became the household name. They're the Kleenex in rideshare. Yeah. So, you don't think of facial tissues. You think most of the time you think Kleenex. Yeah. That's a name brand. Yeah. Same thing with Jacuzzi. They're the name brands that you think of. So Uber became that. That's what you see in TV shows. That's what you see in movies. They say Uber. Very rarely do you see Lyft. So I think that's something, if you want to position yourself. So people need that brand recognition, especially those who may not have used the services yet. If there's somebody who hasn't used a service, maybe they're older, maybe they just have their own car, they don't need the service for whatever reason. Yeah. When they're going to think of a ride share or something to use, they're going to sit down and say, oh, well, I know Uber, so let's download the Uber app. So again,
well, Uber, you know how many times I've had a Lyft passenger in the car and they'd be on the phone, right? And they would be talking. They will say, "I'm in an Uber." I'm like, "Bro, you're on a Lyft." Like, I mean, that goes to show. Oh, hold on. Nathaniel is here, our brother on wheels, the winner of Show Me the Money, Paid Forward, Sunshine Man Award. Hand to Nathaniel. There you go, my man. We announced you're winning already, so so there you go.
Yep, congrats. But yeah, I mean that's really what it comes down to.
Yeah. Yeah. So next, I mean, I wish him the best, but we have a couple more questions. Let's just go through those real quick, and then
your first 90 days in, how will you immerse yourself in the business? Are you going to be? We've talked to John Zimmer a lot in recent years. He's been driving these cars. I mean, he makes he says, "Look, I'm out there driving these cars. I'm connected with drivers. Do you plan to do the same? And have you done the same?"
Yeah, I haven't yet. I did get my car inspected this past weekend. Good news, it passed. And I also passed the background check, so I'm well on my way. But look, that's one of the great things about John is he's been so passionate about making sure he really kind of understands the details of the business. I'll be doing that. I'll be, of course, meeting with employees, as you do. Been talking a lot to investors and to the press to make sure people understand that Lyft is back and the customers have a real choice right now.
Hold on, before I want to know, where are you talking to drivers in that?
Yeah, I know.
Customers, you're talking to shareholders, you're talking to employees. But the ones who are bringing you the money, where are you talking to? So again,
I watched you on. Yeah. Well, you know what? It seems like the same thing. Same shit, different day, kind of a commercial. You know what I'm saying? So
let me finish this. Let me finish this segment, and then we'll go. I just that just came to mind when I said that. I mean, you got to. If you want to talk to all, you got to talk to your drivers who are the driving force behind your passengers getting from pickup to drop off. If they're not there, you got no business. So,
and I almost hate to bring this up proactively, but I'll do it. Look, efficiency is also in the air. And so we've got to focus on doing the absolute most important thing so that our drivers and our riders get the best possible experience at a price that's in line with what the competition offers.
On efficiencies, Dave.
Yeah. So first of all, kudos to Mr. Risher. He tweeted, he got approved, and he was out this weekend. He did a few trips, took some pictures. I actually tweeted him back saying that, now show us your numbers, and then will applaud you. How many trips did you do? Let's see if you hit the 35 per active hour. And then obviously no response, but I also invited them to the show. Mr. Risher, you're more than welcome. Show up anytime you want. The question here is, again, as you correctly stated, Chris, No mention of the driver yet. Just at the end, maybe efficiency, that kind of a thing. Look, Mr. Risher, this is one thing that you can really, really do. Okay. Respect the driver, help the driver, because there are loyal drivers to only Lyft, believe it or not, Chris. They're not multi-apping. They're just driving for Lyft, and they have been driving for Lyft. And to me, this cutbacks that you guys had, that you want to this in-app support only, if you can just fix that first, that would be like, drivers will love you for it, okay? Because all we're doing is chasing our tail, Mr. Risher. But besides the point, the most important thing that I'm hearing here is efficiency, competition, pricing, and Lyft is back. Well, where had Lyft gone? Lyft had not gone anywhere. You just you're doing your rideshare trips, and you're up to 20 million, 400,000 from what I saw there, monthly active users, which is about 2 million less than the pre-pandemic level. So while Uber is hitting all those marks and actually getting to new higher marks at 132 million monthly active users, you're kind of stagnating right around 20. So, maybe he has a point, Chris. Maybe he has a point saying that customer first and get that market share that they lost back. But again, it's a commodity business, right? How much can you cut without jeopardizing your top line and bottom line, right? I mean,
I mean, they definitely need to focus on the customer, because though they're ordering, and if they're not ordering, if they're going to another platform like Uber, or if there's like a local one or something within that particular market, they're going to be up shit's creek without a paddle, because they need the riders to be able to do that. They need the drivers to be able to drive them. So it's this fine line that they got to walk. The only thing I hope that you don't do, Mr. Risher, is don't give me emails that says it's the year of change, and then give all these lists of things that you're going to change, like Uber did when DK came in. And do you remember that, right?
Yeah.
Oh man.
I mean, I think we got to give this guy the benefit of the doubt for about one quarter maybe, and then see where it goes. Yeah. I'm hopeful. He seems like a pleasant person.
With you on giving him a chance. I mean, as long as things get ironed out, as long as things seem to get hiccuped. The one thing though, Mr. Risher, if you're watching, you need to look into this immediately. And this is the Lyft reroute. When I accept a ride, it's based on what I think is going to be right, meaning, and especially with upfront pay at this point, I know the pickup, the drop off, I know the distance, I know how much I'm getting paid. I do not want to accept a ride, and then I'm on my way to pick that person up, a couple minutes away, whatever it might be. And then all of a sudden I get this notification that says, oh, you've been rerouted.
Yep.
I don't like that. I don't want that. And every single time I go in the app and I cancel it, because I don't want to be rerouted. I don't know. I didn't accept that. And that pisses me the hell off. It's pissed me off since the moment I started Lyft, and it continued on. So my threshold on accepting rides from Lyft, it's got to be 4 minutes or less away. That's it. With Uber, it could be 10, 12 minutes, depending on the particular ride. So these types of things, please put into effect and change immediately.
Switcheroo, that switcheroo is a killer, man. I'm actually now, I've gotten a couple of emails, which I was going to talk about it, but they're saying that, we recommended for everybody to no more new requests when you pick somebody up. So when you're going in a surge zone, you don't kill this or all the good stuff. A lot of people are doing it. They're saying Lyft is overriding that now. You can take a passenger, say no new requests on the way to pick up, and they're still switching you on. And I'm going like, how is that possible?
Wow.
That's crazy, So
I'm gonna have to test that. I haven't turned Lyft on because Uber's been showing me the money. So I mean, Lyft did show me the money now, so I'm gonna test that out and see too, and we'll report back. But
I mean, look, man, there is a lot to do for this guy, so let's give him the benefit of the doubt, and you can come and talk to tens of thousands of drivers all at once, Mr. Risher. So invitation open anytime. There we go.
Yeah, let's move on.
David, now Lyft has been very aggressive in cutting expenses. Do you see more opportunities to do that? And then secondarily, some data out this morning by on the sell side saying some trends in your business have started to stabilize towards the end of the quarter. Anything you can share there?
Can't really share there. I think you kind of understand why. But I will say that for the last 15 years, 14 years, I've been running an organization that has to solve big problems, in this case around literacy for world reader, but with very, very small budgets. And so I'm very, very comfortable with the idea that, honestly, sometimes you can sort of get twice the team, without twice the people. So we're doing a lot of work there to try to figure out how to get our costs as good as they can be.
And I know.
If I was employed at Lyft, I wouldn't like that comment. Let me tell you that.
Well, here's the thing. Anytime you're going to have some sort of change, you're going to have, people laid off. You're going to have, efficiencies looked at and figured out how to streamline certain aspects of things. So, there's layoffs coming. How much though? I don't know. Do you know the current employee count there?
Yeah, 4,800.
Okay. I'm wondering how many are actually needed in order to have the company.
We will find out. But the last cutback was about 700, right?
Yep.
And it was all the hubs and green light hubs and what do you call that? Driver support centers, whatever they were. And then they switched from only platinum drivers have phone support. Everybody else is on in-app support, which it's maddening, crazy.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah. So. Look, man, we're going to talk about that. Actually, I'm going to talk about quite a bit when we talk about Uber's salaries, exec salaries, and company numbers. For such a simple business as picking up point A, dropping off point B, and this is just rideshare, by the way. I don't know why you guys need 4,700, 4,800 employees, to be honest with you. And but
I think the biggest thing is you should have a team that is testing out certain aspects, and that is it. Not having like multiple tests, like what was his name from Para, who we had on, and he worked at
David.
Uber, and he's saying, David.
Yeah.
When they were running multiple tests and different things, it's like, no, you have one team that's doing different tests and things like that, just to figure it out in app. The rest you have working on your app, and then any other clerical side of things, and then cut the HR department.
But look again and again. Again, it's a one-trick pony. Time will tell what's going to change, what's not going to change, and hopefully drivers will benefit, and we're all for that. But we'll see. But if I was a true Lyft coder or an employee and I wasn't doing my job, I'd be careful now.
Yeah, you might want to pick up the slack just a little bit,
just
so you can
pick up your stuff. Yeah.
And if you are expendable, make yourself non-expendable in order to, maybe survive that. So let's see.
I know you do a lot of focus on the customer experience, and during the pandemic, you had a lot of people working from home. At this point, still expecting some sort of long-term hybrid work experience. How will you then grow the company from here if that is going to be the longer-term trend?
Yeah, it's interesting. Of course, there are going to be hybrid work environments. There's no question that's the new reality. But I would say, if anything, I'm feeling a bigger push to say, let's get people back out of the house and back to work. And that's not just sort of a philosophical thing. It's a practical thing. Decisions can be made faster. Mentoring happens more at a time where consumers are under so much financial pressure. Companies like us have to work really hard to make sure we're providing the best value. And frankly, a lot of the time that happens with people together in front of a whiteboard. So, I sort of think, it's a mistake to think that we're going to be cloistered in the future. And not that you said that, but I actually think over time, more and more people will want to get out and back together. That's where the magic happens.
Oh,
again,
no more not one driver response there.
Yeah. Well, we're at the end of the interview almost, and not one thing, but hey.
Did you have anything on that particular?
No, I mean, it's more of the same, it's like a redundant question that she asked. And because look, these journalists, they don't know seriously what's going on. They just have scripted stuff that's going back and forth, and, nothing relevant really. Give him a few softballs and have him hit it out of the park. Okay, fine. As these things are mostly scripted. Again, sir, with all due respect, how's Uber at or above pre-pandemic customer levels in every single important city or state except the West Coast, which just about they're catching up this quarter, and you are 10% behind that? The pandemic has been over, I guess, for Uber, but not over for you guys. I don't know what else to tell you, right? So.
Yeah.
I
Especially
don't want to
since
be tough on this, man. It was just like, I don't know.
No, I know. I think it's just the frustrations of Lyft and what they've been and the decisions that they've kind of gone through over the last several years that led them to this particular point. So, again, I want to give them the benefit of the doubt too. I hope Lyft continues on. I hope they don't get, transferred. I don't hope not merged, not sold, nothing like that. We need two ride-sharing platforms in order to keep things at least at a level playing field.
Yeah,
A
we
third one would
definitely
be even better, but
we don't need a monopoly for sure, because then God help drivers. If Uber becomes a monopoly, Lyft disappears, God help drivers. If you guys are complaining now, then you're going to figure out the evil algos if Uber becomes
To drive that magic, you need drivers, David. Do you have that access to the labor pool that you need?
We do. It's driver supply is always an issue. The truth of the matter is, if you pay well, and we for sure have to focus on that, drivers tend to come. It's interesting. I had a great ride with a driver in Atlanta, and he said, what I love about driving for Lyft is I'm never going to go broke. I'm never going to go broke. I just have to drive. And same with the guy here in San Francisco, Luis, great guy. He said, look, in construction, I made $600 a week, and that was the top. I couldn't go above that. There just wasn't more work than that at my level. But I can drive as much as I want. And then in 2 weeks, I have the control to be able to go to a bachelor party. So I think for drivers, actually, there's a lot of upside for them still.
First one with drivers, huh?
Last question. Yeah, that was it. So,
there's one more.
Yeah. Okay. So he goes, if you pay drivers well, they will come. Yes. Except that the macro economy is helping you anyway. So honestly, I don't think you're going to need to put out too many incentives for drivers to show up. What you can do, sir, honestly, first of all, get rid of that minimum fare of $2.62. We're in 2023 with 10% inflation running, especially for a city like Los Angeles. That's like an insult, really. If you want to help the drivers, let's get that moving up a little bit, number one. Number two, supply is going to be there as long as the economy is slowing down and a lot of people's W-2s are not enough and they need to, make a couple $100 extra a week, and that's how they're going to do. They're going to get into the Uber, Lyft platform or DoorDash or Grubhub or whatever. They're going to try to make the money any way they can. And as far as, him saying, see, okay, I'm going to say it, screw it. Okay, I don't want to blow my chance with you, Mr. Risher, but I'm going to say this. You said, I'm never going to go broke. Now, if I sent you emails of people going broke right and left because they were doing rideshare without knowing their costs, you would be amazed. So maybe you should hire us, to educate the driver community on cost per miles and things like that. The first driver, he said, I will never go broke. I'm like, no, actually, people do go broke because they don't know what the heck is going on out there, and you're not helping him to teach him how to do this as a business. And the second driver was like, he was in construction. He could only make $600 a week, but now he can drive and go to a bachelor party. I get it. I understand. You always tell everybody, pick up every trip. You'll make more money that way. We disagree here, obviously. We decline here, and then we know our worth. But I think that was a little bit of silliness too, just like his tuna, fish, and passenger comment. So I was like, people do go broke, Mr. Risher, because people don't know their costs, and they buy these cars, or they're in the Hertz rental program, brutal skates in those areas. So let's just call it the way it is, right? Rideshare is not what it used to be. Again, a good friend from, Norma in Florida always says, circle of control, circle of influence. And your circle of control is to figure out your own cost and run this as a small business, as we've done for months now. Okay, people? And if it's not a feasible situation financially, don't do rideshare. As a rideshare channel, we're saying don't do rideshare. What else? I mean, this is as straight as I can call it. So, anyway, but again,
and so how do you plan on perhaps streamlining some of these costs while also improving pricing power, not just for the drivers, but also for the customers as well?
Yeah, that's my challenge, but I'm up for that, right? And I think, people think in trade-offs sometimes, but I think this is one where you don't get to choose. You both have to be price competitive. You have to be priced in line with where the other guys are, and you got to deliver a great service. And that's just, like so many businesses, you just have to figure that out. And we're very focused on making a profitable company long-term. So that's my challenge.
David, what do you think the end game is here for Lyft? Is it part of another brand, another company, another tech player?
I mean, look, we always look at options like that and people approach us from time to time. But right now, our focus is on creating such a great service that in whatever configuration we're going to be relevant, valuable, either as a standalone company or something else. Look, remember, too, you guys just ran a segment on electric vehicles, which, of course, leads to autonomous. As autonomous vehicles happen and you start to see, interesting experiences within rideshare where maybe it's not a driver in the front seat, but a barista, all sorts of fun things can happen, or a karaoke bar, I don't know. But if you sort of look way, way out, rideshare networks like this, like ours, are going to be really, really valuable.
Certainly a long play there indeed, but we're excited to.
All right, so that's the end of that. Whoa, that was a lot to unpack there. There were a couple of things. First was the will they be, the standalone company, or will they be something else? Then the EV brings the autonomous, and then something about a barista or a karaoke bar, and the real fun begins. Whoa.
Yeah, well, you know what? You said it best. So all I heard there is, wishes and dreams. Let's punt, what do you call that? Hail Mary. Like, if that's your plan is, sir, I don't think it's going to work. The only thing that he said there, that's kind of a hint. He goes, we have been approached multiple times before, and we get approached from time to time. That's your hint. Mm-hmm. That there are people who may be interested at a certain price, and I don't know how much lower they could be for them to be really interested in it, to take a bite. Yeah, I mean, overall, okay, what would you rate this interview, Chris? What grade? Like we rated Harry a B- after the last Derek Oshosha interview. What do you rate that interview?
What are we rating on? His responses or the questions?
Yeah, no, just him, just the CEO, yeah.
I'm gonna give it a C+.
We're exactly on the same page on that one. Yeah, and I it's not because he didn't say anything about the driver, and I mean, for a veteran like me and you, nothing new.
Oh, Norma!
Oh, Norma!
Wow, thanks for the super chat, guys on the CTV. Nice.
We're gonna, his interview is coming up too, right? I don't know which week it is, but his.
I don't know, but you know what? I think David needs to talk to Elon, because Elon went into Twitter and just cleaned the house. So let's see what happens there.
He's getting rid of the check mark too for $8. If you don't pay $8, he's getting rid of the blue check mark. You should see all the LeBron is complaining. He goes, "I'm not going to pay $8." I'm like, "Really, LeBron? If you're complaining, then what am I supposed to do?" But thank you. Well, you know what? I think we're going to call this guy his name now. Obviously, he's not Norma. His picture's on there. His name is Jeff. Another amazing Jeff. There we go, Jeff. Thank God. After 3 months, I can call your name now instead of calling you Norma. So here's the deal. My thing with this C+, nothing new here for a veteran. Has been involved in the gig world for 7 years now. I hope it works. We give you a chance. But, there's a lot to fix. Look, man, your plate is full, but anytime you want to show up and chit-chat with our drivers, open invitation, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we'd love for you to, I mean, I think we're scorned with the last several years of Uber and Lyft. It's like a one-way relationship when it comes to it. And I think a lot of drivers in that are scorned. So, when we see something like this, we're probably already on the defense. So, we will give you the benefit of the doubt when it comes to it. Whether it's a quarter, 2 quarters, something needs to change. And, there's got to be some imbalance brought forth, a little shakeup in the system there, at least when it comes down to it, not only on the driver's side, but as Lyft as a company, when it comes to brand recognition, things like that. If you want to be a viable company, going forward, and not somebody who is just getting it ready to be piecemealed. So that's what we're going to say, at least on my end there. So yeah.
Yep. So that's it.
All right. Beyond that, let's talk about the next topic, and that is what?
Yeah, okay. But people, we're not ignoring your comments, but they're flying, and I cannot read them all and focus on what I'm about to say. Please email me, Sergio@therideshareguy.com, individual questions, okay? I'm not trying to ignore you, but we're trying to get going here. So, Sergio@therideshareguy.com.
Yep. Right. Yeah, we got a packed show. We'll try to get to questions if we can. But yeah, if there's anything after the fact, definitely email Sergio. He will get back to you on anything there. So we just want to make sure we can get to everything. Before we get going, you said it sounded like you had to say something beyond.
No, let's just move on to the real deal now. And you know what? Just a little teaser. We're doing the Uber salaries, right? Next.
No. We're still continuing with Lyft.
Oh yeah, let's just hit it. Let's just hit that real quick. Yeah.
Yeah. So John Zimmer and Logan Green are the current president and CEO of Lyft, stepping down. You know, a lot of you would mention this to me the other day when it came to what we're about to show, which to me it seemed that way, where it seemed like they were being pushed out, whether it was something from the shareholders, the board, but it actually seems like it may have been partly to do with employee dissatisfaction on their end of things on running the company. So it might have been that the employees had a little bit to do with it when coming to both Logan Green and John Zimmer stepping down as CEO and president, and now Risher taking over.
Yep. We're gonna hit this like in 30 seconds, minute. So my good friend Pritika Rana at Wall Street Journal, amazing journalist. Really, I trust her with every word she says, and she doesn't put any fluff out there. She calls it the way she sees it. She's not really too friendly to Uber and Lyft either, and actually she has a massive article coming out where I'm in it and quoted me extensively. So thank you, Pritika. I appreciate it. They figured out, they said, there was a revolt going on actually within the company on every hands-on meeting that these two founders put on. And, when they exited, they made it look like, oh, we're just going to pass on the baton now, and I was like, I never bought it. If you're running it that way, why do you need a new guy? But I think the pressure from within, the morale of the company, the existing employees, obviously the performance probably is taking a hit. And unequivocally, it says right here, a rideshare company has struggled with competition from Uber. Some people within the company had been questioning the leadership of its co-founders, Chief Executive Logan Green and President John Zimmer, for months now. Some investors and stock analysts also had urged change. Yeah, I mean, look, we've been saying that too on Show Me the Money. And obviously, there was a lot of pressure from within. Look, whatever it is, Chris, there's a new sheriff in town. Let's trust the new sheriff for a couple of months, a quarter, maybe two, because I don't know if they have enough cash to do that. But let's just allow this guy to have some success and clean house some more and cut costs some more. Look, if his ultimate goal is to sell the company, he's going to do what he's going to do. He's not going to, the first day he shows up at the job, say, oh, my job is to clean it up and sell the company. Of course, he's not going to do that.
Otherwise, you'll just see it go like this.
Otherwise, bye. All the employees will take off, right? So to me, it's like, hey, let's give this guy a break. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, it's good. It's definitely going to be interesting, though, to see how things do shake up over the next couple of months. But either way, it could have been some dissatisfaction with the employees. Obviously, there was a little thing at the bottom of that article on the one screenshot that said some shareholders were also kind of urging that as well. And this is basically because you looked at the last earnings call, you saw two completely different calls when it came to Uber and Lyft. Uber was positive. It was looking like it was going to be in a profitable situation soon. Things were rebounding. Things were growing. Things were beyond what they expected. Lyft was trying to make up some excuses on things, and you could clearly see the divide between the two. So I think that played a lot into this whole thing of what's going on in their current situation there. So, we'll see what happens. And
good luck.
Yep. Now let's switch over to Uber, because we talked about Lyft enough. Let's talk about Uber. Why can't they turn a freaking profit? Well, I just said maybe they're looking like they can, but their salaries had just been released and talking. So Uber's
fat is a lot of fat at Uber. So here, man, look, I've done articles, I've done videos. The subject gets to every driver's nerve. And what are the top complaints today, Chris? What is it, right? Oh, the take rate, they took 50%. Huh?
It's definitely driver pay is the top issue.
Exactly. And their take rate, how much they take of the passenger fares, right? And everybody says, and everybody kind of agrees with 50, 60%, sometimes 70%. Oh, how can they be not profitable? They must be lying. They must be doing this. They must be doing that. Okay. First of all, their take rate is not that high, people. Go into your statements, look at your weekly statements. I get them every week. Uber's losing money right and left on a lot of drivers because of incentives, okay? And I'm not saying they're not taking 50% on a single 2 or 3 or 10 trips. So that, please stop the hate mail or send it, whatever. But overall, if you look at your weekly statement on every Tuesday or every Monday that Uber sends you, log on to the website, you will see that exact take rate. Or better yet, you just got your 1099 CAN, 1099 NEC. Log on to your tax area on the Uber app and see what their take rate was. As clear as day. Unless you don't buy those numbers, that's a different story. Unless you're saying they're moving around those numbers, then that's conspiracy theory I'm not going to touch. I see what I see. I speak on what I see. So as you guys are a business, as we want to teach you that you are a small business around your business, you need to know your costs, right? Your costs are fixed costs, variable costs. Guess what? Uber is not run by air, okay? They have costs as well, and part of this cost is salaries, obviously. So we just mentioned Lyft has 4,800 global employees. Well, they're not global, but let's say US and Canada. But Uber is a global company, okay? You know, and in the next screenshots, you guys will see how many employees they have and what their average salaries are right here. Uber has close to 33,000 employees. By the way, I checked on this. This does not count outsourced support in Philippines and India and wherever not. Those are not employees. We're talking employees with an average salary worldwide was close to $77,000 per person, okay? Ooh. If you multiply 33, why do we need 33,000 people to run a company that's a taxi cab with an app, okay, or a food delivery company? Why do we need this? Talk about fat. This is where the fat is. If you multiply just simply 30, and this is very simple, by the way, and this is not the way the numbers are run, but just to make some sense out of it, 33,000 times 77,000, Chris, is $2.7 billion. Billion with a B. Ooh. Now you guys understand why they have to take so much money out of your passenger fare. And this is not the only expense, right? So Uber is a business. You got to look at it as a business. Now, let's add the taxes on this. Let's add the 401k contributions on this for their employees. Employment taxes. Unemployment insurance for their employees, because we're ICs. We don't get that. Their employees get it, though. How about Social Security taxes? How about all these, right? How about liability? How about corporate liability? How about the servers that they run on? How about the building leases that they're in? These 33,000 people are not staying at home. I mean, there is like San Francisco is an expensive city, right? So what I'm trying to say is that Uber also has expenses as a business. How about all the legal expenses that they get sued right and left every day? How about the top executive expenses, right? So when you look at Uber, right, and Uber's total take rate on a global basis last quarter was close to 28%. And that's on gross numbers, gross, 28%, okay? And they did 2 billion trips last quarter. So if you take that 28% take rate on average between freight, Uber Eats, and Uber rideshare, right? If you look at the revenue and took this money out, just this 2.7 billion plus add another probably couple of billion on top of that. So the running expenses of Uber are close to probably $4.5 to $5 billion with a B. That's why they're not making any money. Their expenses are out of control, right? So my thing to you guys is that, go back to the first page, Chris, is that when you guys say, oh, Uber's taking so much money from me, how come they're not profitable? Well, here's part of the answer. I mean, it takes them $5 billion to run a cab company with an app, which I'm like, yeah, I agree, Brandon. So to me, understand it that Uber is a business just like you are. So Uber CEO's payroll is $24 million last year. Look, this got a lot of play. I'm not going to keep harping on this. There is a board that decides what this guy is worth, and they thought this guy was worth $24 million. I'm like, okay, whatever, great. However, only 1 million of that is salary, right? Because what they do is in their world, if he got all 24 million as a salary, his tax rate would be through the roof. So he gets only $1 million up front, and then everything else is deferred. In the big boy league, that's why they do it to avoid taxes. So this is just their salary, 24 million, right? An Uber CEO's pay package included $1 million base salary, which he pays taxes on. The rest he doesn't. About $14 million in stock awards, about $5.9 million in option awards, and $2.9 million bonus, nearly $170,000 in other compensation that was mostly attributed to personal travel and security costs. Well, I thought that would be higher. So next page, and now you guys have to understand this. Kosher Shah's 22 compensation was about double his pay package from 2020. Now, is any driver here or watching this later is making double what they were making in 2020? I don't think so. 2020 CEO to employee pay ratio, which is important in the top guy versus the bottom guy, is up to 316 to 1. I'm like, hello, an increase from 2021. The annual median pay for Uber's 33,000 almost employees worldwide was 76,767. The number of employees rose. Why? I don't know. We're doing the same crappy shit that we were doing before. Honestly, this blew my mind. 33,000 employees, Chris? Why do these people need 33,000 people? Anyway,
I have no idea.
Yeah, talk about fat. Yeah, so the number of employees rose while the median pay decreased. Hello, they're in the driver's seat there. Tony West, my man, Kamala Harris's brother-in-law, our vice president's brother-in-law, Tony West, chief legal officer and corporate secretary, received a total compensation of $10.6 million, including $2.4 million bonus. Among his accomplishments, this kind of I cringed on this one, but what the heck, I'm gonna read it anyway. Accomplishments listed in the proxy was regulatory progress. It's called Prop 22 and Prop 22 clones being pushed all over the country, and to keep everybody independent as opposed to employees. That progress came in the form of establishing 4 labor partnerships around the world. Not sure. Advancing Uber's vision of the independent contractor plus model, which is the Prop 22 model. Please believe me, people, you don't want Prop 22 wherever you are. By supporting bills in Washington State and Chile. Yeah, I don't know. Washington State, they got your number there, Tony. And championing and exceeding progress targets. So Prop 22 in California. So next one. Total compensation of other top Uber executives: Nelson Chai, chief CFO, $12.3 million. Jill Hazelbaker, who's been there from first day. I think she's one of the only ones that's been there with Travis and Dara. Senior VP marketing and public affairs, $8.2 million. Nikki Krishnamurthy, senior vice president, chief people's officer, $7.2 million. We should have Nikki on, chief people's officer. I wonder what he does. Is she in charge of drivers? No, I think Andrew McDonald is in charge of all this other stuff. So here's the one that kind of irked me, and I think it irked you too, because you sent me those screenshots too. Investors will vote on one chair, one vote proposal at the company's annual general meeting May 8th. It calls for an independent audit of driver health and safety. Okay, anybody opposed to that here? No. Okay.
No.
Uber's model of using regulatory loopholes to avoid providing adequate workplace protections and controlling how work is performed has left drivers facing pervasive health and safety issues. I agree. The submitted proposal reads, this was a proposal from a shareholder. Now, the company, with all their might, say, the company recommends that shareholders vote against this proposal, saying that it already provides extensive reporting on its safety initiatives and goals. Additionally, Uber is currently undergoing an independent civil rights assessment. How, as a company, blatantly go out and say, oh, I'm against that proposal, which kind of looks, into driver protections, workplace protections, and safety, is beyond me. And then go take a $24 million salary. So, I'm not sure this is a good picture to paint as the executives of this company, but it's typical. It just kind of goes to show that, Uber doesn't care about drivers. So Mr. Risher, if you're watching this, maybe, maybe you take a page out of this.
For those who are investing in stocks, you are a shareholder of that company. You own a portion of that company. Depending on how many shares you have is how many votes you have as well. When it comes to, in this case, May 8th, they're having their shareholder meeting. And so they have 4 proposals. So anybody who is an Uber shareholder, like myself, does have the ability to vote on different proposals. They have 4 proposals that they have. So what you see right here, you have your election of directors, and they have all of their directors there. So you can do either for, against, or abstain. Number 2 is executive compensation. So you can vote to approve the 2022 named executive officer compensation, again, for, against, or abstain. 3 is the ratification of auditors. So this is a ratification of appointment of PricewaterhouseCoopers LLP as the independent registered public accounting firm for 23. And again, that's for, against, or abstain. And then number 4, and I'm sorry, I forgot to say, if you look, you see number 1, 2, and 3, and then underneath that, it says board recommendation. All of those are 4. Then you go to the 4th one, and this is the driver health and safety audit proposal. And it says board recommendation against. So this is where it says stockholder proposal to prepare an independent third-party audit on driver health and safety. And again, as you can see, I just zoomed in on this right here. And this is where they said against.
Yeah. So they're approving their salaries, they're approving the board members, they're approving the auditors, but then when it comes to drivers, they go, nope, against, vote against that. We're doing enough already, so we don't need to do anymore. Mr. Koshajai, with all due respect, you guys don't do crap about driver safety. I mean, I get your bells and whistles in your systems, but I don't think you're doing enough. So, and that's a common complaint. I mean, we have, as drivers, we have 3 complaints. Number 1, earnings. Number 2, safety. Number 3, your take rate. And obviously, you're suggesting your investors to vote against this is a slap in the face of all drivers. I mean, what else is there to say? So to me, it's like, no bueno, sir. Yeah.
Yep. So if you own stock, just make sure you get your vote in before. And again, it's based on the amount of shares that you have. So it can, sway one way or the other. So it's just up to you if you're a shareholder. And, somebody said I would never own Uber. Honestly, I mean, that's your call. Do your due diligence. I'm not going to give you financial advice for or against something. I will admit I own Uber stock. So I do own a portion of the company, very, very small portion of the company, but still I can voice my opinion when it comes to the shareholder votes and things like that. So that's up to you if you want to, whether you're for or against. That's your call there.
For disclaimer purposes, I don't know. I used to own Uber stock. I don't own any shares. And it's every one vote, one voice. It's just like anything else. If you do own it, vote. I mean, vote for that number 4 as opposed to against, as the board is suggesting you guys do. So. Yep.
All right. So yeah, I texted you that and I'm like, oh, look at this. And then they have their proxy report out too. The proxy report, I think I said it was like 80 pages or something, which is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, wasted money. So add that to their expenses. Every quarter you gotta do that. I mean, look, Uber is spending $5 billion to run this business. Maybe more, probably more. I would say more. That's salaries and everything else, taxes and legal expenses and buildings and all that garbage, right? Well, that's why they're not making any money. I mean, you don't need 33,000 people, man, to pick up food from point A to point B and then to pick up human from point A job. And this, Chris, without owning the car. They have a zero asset business model, and they're spending $5 billion a year to run it. I go like,
yeah,
man, that's
well, no. They do have some assets, and that's the land and the property that they're in. If
most of it, I bet you anything, most of it is leased. Okay,
if
like
it's
in
leased,
Chicago,
then yes, that's a different story.
Of it is leased. I bet you they don't even own their servers. I bet you anything.
I think it's AWS actually.
Yeah, so I'm like, hey, there you go. Okay.
All right. Well, let's move on. We talked about Lyft. We talked about Uber. Now let's switch it up a little bit. Let's talk about DoorDash. And DoorDash is looking at pouring tens of thousands into Chicago's municipal election campaigns, outspending other apps. And basically, they were part of Prop 22. They were part of that. What was it? $100 and some odd million to try to get Prop 22 proposal accepted and voted yes, which they did succeed. I don't even remember how much that DoorDash put in, but it was something ridiculous. And now they're pouring more money into other. And this is, that we talked about some of the expenses that Uber has. We didn't even really bring up the lobbying side aspect of things too, and how much they have to spend. But not only that, then how much they have to do in representation costs as well. Because there are a lot of lawsuits that are going on. There's a lot of arbitration that's going on. And guess what? They have to cover the majority of that when it comes to their legal departments and things like that. So that's even more.
Yeah, all the settlements, right? Because they fight in court, and then at the end they settle for a couple $100 million here and there. Look, this shouldn't be this way, man. This is a simple business, people. We just pick up food, drop off food, pick up people, drop off people. We don't need any of this stuff. That's why, sometimes I'm not a huge fan of the government, don't get me wrong, but sometimes I go like, this is so complicated. Why do we need any of this? Why do we need all these colors, bells and whistles and all this shit? Pay everybody a fair wage. Everybody's willing to do the work. Let's not play the game. But these guys, of course, spending, because Chicago and in city of Chicago, Miss Garza, that I'm trying to get to interview, has the, proposal that these people don't like, and they're already bombarding every driver in Chicago within the app saying that please vote against 2251, which, by the way, is not a friendly proposal. And of course, they have threatened to leave. I'm going like, BS. Yeah, they go, we're going to leave. I'm like, okay, go. Go have a nice day.
I'd like to see them try that. They pulled the same bullshit in California. It came down to the wire.
Seattle, same thing.
And it was all bluff.
Yeah, they did it in New York. They did it in Seattle. It's not going to work. But it goes to show that these people are actively lobbying, right? People to get laws passed advantageous to the business. Obviously, like if I was it, I would do the same thing probably. But this is a little, a little taste of what DoorDash is continuously doing, and the company put in. I mean, there was a list of like laundry list of all the politicians in Chicago that got their money, but then I just squeezed this much of it because I don't think it's too much of an interest to. But again, lobbying happens in every world, every corporation. I'm just not singling out DoorDash. Look, every oil company lobbies, every other company, every bank lobbies, everybody lobbies. Without lobbyists, this government would not work probably, which they should be all eliminated as far as I'm concerned. I don't think we need any money outside money, but it's the system. So if you hate the system, don't hate me. And, they constantly do it. They spend the money to buy laws, buy politicians. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I just thought I brought it up real quick that, that just shows that there's always some stuff happening in the background, and these companies are, putting their money where their mouth is.
Yeah. The one thing, it's they're talking anywhere from $2,500 to $10,000 contributions, and they're making it to the city council races. So the ones that are contested before successful petition, and they're contributing more than $90,000 for the upcoming February 28th election. And that's talking about the mayor's seat and the 50 city council seats. So quite a bit when it comes to that.
They can do whatever they want, man. You know what it is? It's this is the way the system is, and the system continues to be this way. And Jeff, I get your point, buddy. But unions don't have that kind of deep pockets to do it. Like, I mean, I'll give you the example in Prop 22, which I was involved in. Unions spent $7 million and for no against Prop 22, and Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, Grubhub, Instacart, $220 million. They got outspent by like 30 to 1. So I'm like,
it was pretty ridiculous. All right, well, let's move on. One of the things that we've been mentioning on several of the last few shows is unfortunately another issue when it comes to driver safety. And this is a carjacking when it comes to an Uber driver. And this is from Memphis, I believe.
Memphis, Tennessee. Jesus Sanchez, 19 years old. Buddy, why, buddy? Why? You're 19 years old. Why? Millington is charged with carjacking and employment of a firearm during a dangerous felony, police said. An Uber driver picked up 3 passengers on February 26th at 7 a.m. daylight, by the way. The driver pulled the car over not long after picking them up. When one passenger said he was feeling sick, this is when the guy pulled the gun out and then says, "Get the F out of the car," and he got carjacked. While we're at this subject, this is happening too much, too often. I don't know what Uber and Lyft can do to stop this. Again, you're on your own, had your head on a swivel, and more importantly, I mean, I'm telling you, we don't push product here unless we believe in it. This is when DisplayRide comes into play. So what happens? This guy gets the driver out of the car, driver runs, the driver exited the car when Sanchez pointed a gun at her on top of that, another passenger out of the car and took the car and then keys and took off. And then they arrested him, obviously. So, but guess what, Mr. Sanchez, your picture would have been uploaded to the cloud while you're doing all this stuff and while you're driving the car or whatever you did with the car after you carjacked it. So, I mean, we said it at the start, please have a dash cam. DisplayRide, probably one of the best ones out there as far as technology is concerned and uploading to the web. I mean, it's to the cloud directly. And to me, they have a deal going on, 20% off for RSG until April 15th, by the way. After that, no discount. $20 a month is well worth it. Man, what's $20? What's $20 these days? It's like a Happy Meal, honestly, for your safety. Seriously. I mean, if you go to get like a Big Mac, like, meal at a McDonald's, that's like $12, $14.
Yeah, exactly.
Plus
it's crazy. Like I go to Wendy's now and I'm picking up something for me and like the kids and it's like $30-something. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like and here's the crazy part. So my wife on Friday, my wife and I go out for a date night and we went to Texas Roadhouse.
Oh,
the bill came to $50. If I go to Wendy's and buy for the four of us, that's $50. If I go to Five Guys, that's like $60. It's like, how in the hell do you expect me to go out and get food? It's insane.
Yeah, 100%.
Definitely get a dash camera, no matter what. Obviously, one that will, go to the cloud in the event something like this happens, because they will have that person right then and there, no matter what they do with that particular dash camera, whether they try throwing it out the window or whatnot. But that's one thing that people need to start realizing is dash cameras are now coming out where you do have the ability to upload right to the cloud immediately. And hopefully that will be even more of a deterrent than seeing that dash camera there. So hopefully that is going to continue on when it comes to helping drivers be more safe out on the road. And even these shared rides where they had that other passenger that got pointed at to get out. So but let's switch things up. Again, we don't want to end the show on a rough and hard note. Let's talk about one of the I think the acceptance rate king is what you had mentioned.
I did.
The acceptance rate king.
Jeff, this is the opposite of you, Jeff.
Yes.
Okay, so our Jeff, humanitarian of the year. We love Jeff, of course. We all kid him, right? So Jeff's acceptance rate is 99%. Jeff accepts 99. So this guy is complete. I thought immediately of you, Jeff. So the 1% that you declined, this guy took probably.
No, I think it's the other way. I think it's.
I don't know. I was like, this is definitely not Photoshop. 11,144 requests, only 144 accepted at 1%. So this guy. So I'm a USDA cherry picker. I think this guy. They sell these cherries for like $1,000 a pound in Japan, or these melons and stuff. They have this exotic stuff there. So I go like, this must be that driver right there. This is like 1%. I don't think he can. Is zero. I don't think he can. But there you go. See, this is the group that follows us, and Sunshine Man is here. He goes, I missed the ride. I don't know, Jeff. This is I know. I mean, look, 1%, Jeff. What do you say about that? And by the way,
I don't know what.
The plug to Jeff's and Kyle's interview, Behind the Wheel series, every Thursday. Jeff was the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet man accepts 99%. Holy crap, Chris! Do you know how many comments were there on that video? Like 500. 500. The pummeling that Jeff got. But what did Jeff do to all those morons who went and pummeled Jeff? He was kind and gentle and went and responded saying that I run my business the way I choose to run it. and he was still kind. Me, if that was me, the video was me, and they commented on me like this, that'd be like gloves dropped, let's go. But Jeff, even under that scrutiny, he didn't quit his human. It was, see, you go see, it was my pleasure. Jeff, honestly, I don't think this is you. I don't think this is the real you. I have to talk to your wife at some point because I don't think anybody can be like you, man. I don't know.
You know what, though, to get back on track about talking about this 1% acceptance rate.
That's a little
you know, Uber, Lyft, you know, the reason why this person is at 1% and people in the chat are saying at 4% at the moment, and I believe I saw 2 at 4%. Yeah, Bear Claws and Ride Die, Bike Life.
I'm at 9
4% as well. So yeah, people are not accepting, and the reason why is because the rides are still not priced correctly. You price the rides correctly, the acceptance rates are going to go higher. So, you know, word to the wise out there, if you're watching, you're going to see more drivers continually not hit the accept button because they know what they're worth and they are not going to settle for the peanuts that you are offering them for that particular ride.
Yeah.
If you would like to accept a ride, or if you'd like drivers to accept the rides, you know, you kind of got to beef that up a little bit in order to make it worth it for that particular driver to hit the accept button. I already said, if I had the rates that Seattle was getting in my market, I would be at probably a 99% acceptance rate as well too. And the only way I wouldn't be at the 100% acceptance rate is probably because I missed a ride, like Jeff had just said.
Yeah, the ping was too quick. Yeah, the ping was too quick. Yeah, but I you know what? Look, this is extreme. Obviously, we're not telling you to be at 1%, but we're telling you to cherry pick. That's all we're saying. That's it.
Yep. I mean, take the rides that are going to be worth it for you. Yeah. Obviously, every single person has their own reasons on why they're running their business, what's acceptable to them or not. But just make sure you know your worth when it comes down to it, and accept rides that make sense to you. Decline rides that do not make sense to you.
Right there. Right there.
Yep. Know your worth. Yep. All right. And then, you know, we got to wrap up this show on this other aspect of things. We talked about Uber. We talked about Lyft. We talked about DoorDash. We actually mentioned autonomous vehicles earlier when it was the little interview that we were reacting to. And right now, currently, there are a test market going on for these delivery robots. And this is in LA.
My backyard, yeah. Leave it to California.
You see them getting kicked, and you see them getting.
Oh yeah. I see them dogs pissing all over them. I see them getting kicked over. These things are being abused to the max. And then I bet you they don't even have food in it. They're like doing test runs or whatever they're doing, and maybe they have a burrito or two in there, whatever. But this is in my backyard. WeHo stands for West Hollywood in our lingo out in California. And Santa Monica is Coco, and WeHo, Ubers. These are the Uber's robots, actually. I'm going like, okay, man. I have one thing to say about all this automation and whatever, okay? Honestly, the drivers are doing it for $2.50 base pay. I don't think they can do it cheaper than this. And they have to pay for these things to be driven by so-called pilots. They're remote controlled. I'm going like, and then, so the city of Hollywood is very progressive, let alone, but even they rebelled against these things, okay? These were like so hilarious comments from the last city council meeting. These things are like, okay, you know, if you know California and our you know, crosswalks and curbs, they're wider than most cities, but when two of these are like blocking you, you just kind of want to kick him over and just, that's it, and let him to die there. That's what you want to do. And I'm like, okay, so you know, there's a test run going on in West Hollywood, and so these are some of the comments after the city council meeting. They go, explain to us again why these robots are allowed on our sidewalks. These are nuisance and not ADA compliant. Now, I hadn't thought about that part. Okay, I hadn't thought about that part. I apologize to the ADA. Mm-hmm. Okay, but I'm thinking they're just a nuisance as they are. They should be banned from public right away. Very okay. If you guys know anything about California, LA, specifically West Hollywood, and I call it Hollyweird instead of Hollywood, Hollyweird, it's the most progressive goddamn place on the planet. Okay, I'm gonna not call it liberal, but let's say that. And these are people that live there. They should be banned from public roads. In addition to a hazard on the sidewalks, I saw one stalled out in lane in front of an oncoming motor vehicle. Respectfully, get rid of them. This is thank you, Stephanie Harker, pedestrian and resident in West Hollywood. And the other one says, greetings, everyone. I don't mean to be a NIMBY, but does anyone else feel like a guinea pig in an incubator? Crime problem? Try these. Security ambassadors. Transportation problem? Try these. Scooters. Need a delivery? Try these. Robots. There are some pretty half-baked libertarian ideas afoot. They are not all what you expect them to find them either. So yeah, Hollywood is rebelling. West Hollywood is rebelling against these freaking things. And here it is. Here is the one. This was on Curbivore, by the way. I think this is I forget the name of the company, but this is where this company is working with Uber. When is this pilot program for the delivery robots supposed to be over? When do you decide whether or not, hopefully, dump them or tragically keep them? Mayor Shine sat at my dining area table, drinking my coffee, telling me that she didn't think that they were all that great and that she wasn't impressed by them because she got a delivery and had to walk all the way out to the street. No crap, people. You are lazy. You're all lazy. What do you think? By the way, Hollywood is not like where I live, all single-family homes, wide streets and stuff. They're all high-rises, Chris. So, yeah, they're all used to the poor driver taking a burrito 12 stories up in a building, right? Now they have to get off the couch. They have to get in the elevator. They go all the way down, open the door, put the code in, get the food out, go back up. Nobody's going to do that. What part of this convenient? You know where this, I think, works? Probably like college campuses and stuff. Maybe it will work there. But it will not work for the rest of the delivery world. And then, talk about then cold food. This thing is going like at a snail's pace, bro. You got to go to the restaurant.
I see it. And then it looks stuck there too. That top screenshot it's stuck. And there's other ones that you see. They're just kind of sitting there, and they're like they're all together, and it's like, yeah, if you want to get around, how are you going to get around there?
Look at this. Like, this is a pretty tight sidewalk, right? And then that thing got stuck against the electric box. So it goes, and all of these have names, by the way. They're on individual names.
People though that are controlling them.
Yeah,
or are these ones autonomous?
None of them are autonomous yet. But imagine if they are autonomous. What a disaster that would be.
Oh my God.
That would be hilarious, bro. So anyway, we thought we'd bring that up, do a little laugh. We had a couple of weeks ago, we had one that was crossing the rail tracks, and they got run over by a train.
Yeah. Oh, I hope that person got imagine if you're watching your delivery robot come on the app. You're like, oh, I could check exactly where it is. And then all of a sudden it gets smashed. You see it going over railroad tracks. It gets smashed by a train.
You're hungry. You're waiting for an hour for your burrito, and right before you get to you, just smash that shit over. I'm like,
that's the thing. All of a sudden, it just disappears. You're checking, hits the railroad track, and then the tracker just disappears.
and you know what these things do. Like I've seen this with my own eyes in Santa Monica. Coco is the one that does that there. Golden retrievers somehow are super attracted to these things. Okay, so they just go like sniff the thing, and then they go like piss on it. I'm like, oh, shit. Because they're territorial. Dogs are territorial. The dog goes, what kind of dog is this? I've never seen a dog.
If you get the chance, pull out your phone, snap a shot of that.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it next time. I have a video. I have a video of one for like 2 minutes. Coming towards me. I tried to block it, and it kind of figured it out and went by me. I have that video. Actually, I'll send that to you.
We got to post that next time or something.
Yeah, but imagine that all the homeless situation, right? This is food in there. They all know it's homeless. They're just going to crack the top open and get that food in there, bro. So I'm going
I'm sure it's not that hard.
No, just because. Look, this is my thing. 2 cents. Last comment for the show. Just because you can build it doesn't mean we need it. There you go.
Truth. All right. Well, let's wrap this up. Thanks everybody for watching, hanging out. Episode 50 in the books. Obviously, we have next week coming up, and then the week after that, I believe that is April 18th. If I'm not mistaken, let me double check to make sure. Yes, April 18th. That is our 1 year anniversary, episode 52. Holy crap, 52 episodes with you, Sergio. I can't believe it. All the pills that I've been popping because I got to deal with your bullshit.
No, but you know what though? It was a great ride so far, and we're gonna get better. Yep. And please announce the $50 giveaway. 5 gift cards on our an annual show. 5 $50 Amazon gift cards. How do we pick those winners, by the way? How do we do that?
I don't know. I think we're gonna do that on the show. We're gonna do something
lottery system.
Episode 52 will probably be much different. I mean, unless something big really happens, we'll probably do like a whole Q&A episode or something, or in our giveaways and all that crazy fun stuff. We'll have a good one. We'll crack open a couple of drinks or something. Yeah. So if you're not driving, you can crack open a couple of drinks as well too. We'll probably do something a little more simple, easy. But first off, again, thanks for the $25 super chat, Norma or Jeff. We Zoom, Norma, and Megan, all new members. Appreciate that, helping support the channel when it comes down to it. So appreciate that. Thank you very much. If you want to join as a member to help support the channel, great. If not, awesome. No worries there. Appreciate that, though. You get special emojis. You get our cute mugs that you can do that, and a couple other things. Also, again, just want to let you know, tomorrow is the first episode of Money Hungry with RSG contributors Kim and Zach. So stay tuned for that. I've already seen the show, what they're going to be doing, or at least what they're going to be talking about, and it's going to be a pretty interesting show. So if you're in the food delivery space, if you're in the last mile space, definitely want to make sure you hit up Money Hungry tomorrow, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, and I believe really that's all I got to say.
Yeah, there's a great suggestion here for 1 year show. Do Sergio's greatest hits every time I cussed. How about that?
Well, I don't know. Maybe I'll talk to Joe and see if he can come on, and we could interview Dara and Tony Zhu, and maybe that's how we get David Fisher on.
Yeah, man. Hey, go Donnie and Biloxi. Yeah, Donnie's going to be on the channel too. It's like Donnie, the chicken man. What's up, Donnie? Bro, we have so many. You know what? All these 50 weeks, I've met so many different characters, Chris, that in my wildest dreams, I didn't think I would meet, right? And that's just unbelievable to me. And I'm like, thank you, everybody. Keep supporting us. And we'll call it the way we see it. There's no bullshit here. So there you go. I said it. The last word. Bullshit.
Another thing beyond that, for those who don't remember or weren't here before, we are also doing a giveaway for the seat cushions here. If you want more information, there's going to be a link in the description. But we are giving away 3 of these for next week's show. Basically, it's going to be your ride counts, the most rides given for Uber and or Lyft. So it's either Uber, it's either Lyft, it's both, whatever it is. The top 3 most rides given, because your ass is in the seat the most. Your ass and your back is definitely going to enjoy that. Yes. And anybody who is having back problems, anybody who is having some butt soreness, this is something you may want to look at. So again,
hemorrhoids.
The description. Oh yeah. Actually, it's got this little cutout for that area, so it gets a nice little airflow there, so you're not sweating or anything. Just as a side note, so it does help with that actually, and it's pretty comfortable. Both Sergio and I have one. They did send it to us to try out and see.
Elmara, thank you.
We got to appreciate that. And we are going to be able to give 3 away to 3 lucky winners who have the most rides given for Uber and Lyft. Make sure you send those screenshots over to Sergio at sergio@therideshareguide.com. And then lastly, we just want to give a special shout out again to Nathaniel. If you're still here, you are the inaugural first winner of the Show Me the Extra Mile Sunshine Award. So we just want to say special thanks to you and going above and beyond, helping an 80-year-old veteran on a very long ride that most people probably would not have taken and probably would not have done some of the things you did there. So Nathaniel, awesome work out there. Congratulations. And we look forward to seeing what some other people have to say when it comes to that. So
all right, sir. Congrats to you. We hung in there for 50 weeks. When do we go syndicate? 100 shows? Go syndicate?
I think it's 100 shows, yeah.
Once we do 100, then we just retire and then collect syndication money like Seinfeld. So.
Well, I mean, I wish it was like Seinfeld or something there.
Exactly.
Oh my
We're
God.
the Mr. Beast. We're the Mr. Beast of rideshare, bro. There you go. How about that?
All right. Well, it was great hanging out and enjoy. We'll see you guys next week. Got plenty of great stuff coming up for you, plus Money Hungry tomorrow, and a lot of other things with Behind the Wheel, with other episodes of different segments, with other things going on. So make sure you subscribe, ring the bell, smash the like button. We got 68 likes. Make sure you hit more and give a thumbs up.
Don't be stingy, man. We're giving up money. We're giving up stuff. Come on, man. Give us some love. Here we go.
All right. With that being said, great rest of your night. Go out there and make that money, especially to those who are willing to pay, who are showing the money.